Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. Thank you so much for choosing to spend this time with me. If you catch my vibe or the vibe of what I'm talking about, please make sure to give this video a thumbs up down below or to go over and subscribe to my channel. And as always, perfection cannot exist within this space. Today might be a bit of a struggle for me. I'm just going to read my notes and get out what I would really like to get out. But ultimately, in my personal life, I am still navigating the energy of death and rebirth. As of this morning at about 3 a.m, the lady that I spoke about last week, my stepfather's mum, she crossed over this morning, so it is what it is. We were expecting it. It's just hard. Anyway, so sorry for the emotion, but I'm sure yeah, there are lots of other people that are navigating this as well, and with what's going on in the world, so I kind of just have to suck my tears back up and just forge on. Alright, so a lot of what I'm speaking into today is taken directly from my written space over on Patreon. I had a fair idea of what this week was going to be about quite quickly, which is such a blessing, and it does support me in being able to have more rest and time to also experience and move through the energy I'm picking up on myself. I had the word reunion almost shouted at me when I was heading to sleep the other night, and I've also tried to give meditation more of a try, and have been doing activation guided meditations, which I do like Pleiadian ones. I tend to really like the Pleiadian ones. I need to find who it was. It was like J. I'll try and find it and I'll put it in the link in the description, but it was really good. This came about because I have been quite aware that my routine has been a little ungrounded over the last week. Sorry, I'm really sniffly. It's important to add from this experience that your own personal routines aren't always going to go to plan, and there will be days where flexibility is required to still commit to showing up for yourself each and every day. Your own well-being is a non-negotiable, especially for those watching who are giving a lot for the sake of serving the collective at this time. I don't like talking about it so publicly because I still carry a lot of shame, but I'm also simultaneously trying to break the pattern of addiction, and it really is me versus me at the moment, and each day is bringing a new opportunity to take a different path. My own return to self workshop comes in handy every single day, knowing that at any given point I can simply go back and repeat some of the processes to help me discern more of what is needed and also what has become a distraction again. So it's back to focusing on my nutrition and water intake, alongside picking my book back up and finding support and inspiration through there. I do this because I've been checking socials so much, and even doing the odd sneaky post. I do think it's beneficial posting the links once a week and waiting till Wednesday maybe to do so for all of them, but anything beyond that is pure distraction. And I may even change my mind about this in the coming weeks, but heading towards the 3-month mark of being offline, I really don't want to let the second half of this journey fall short because of habits I stepped away from for a purpose. I think the other thing is too, even in just the small commitment back to self, I've finished off both seeking the sacred and Think Like a Monk. I've finished these now. I've begun to pick up another book to start reading. I had a whole body weight assessment body scan at the gym, and found out that I do need to be drinking more water and a whole heap of stuff, and it's just helped to realign where my focus needs to be. And I think I'm speaking mainly about this because the reality is that with everything, with what's going on in the world and the collective, but also our personal lives, things change at the drop of a hat, and new information and new opportunities come in that you weren't expecting, and you weren't, let's say, you know, prepared for them, or expected is probably the best word. But it's a reminder that sometimes we have to be a little bit more fluid when it comes to our self-care or the routines that we have around that, because life does change. But it is so important that you get that self-care in, whatever that look like at this time for you. This coming week, and some of you may also be feeling this energy already. I know I have, and I know I've seen it become quite apparent in other people's lives, so it could already be here. It may be incoming. This is the energy I'm picking up on. This coming week is about embracing your inner leader and welcoming in the theme of reunion. With tones of death and rebirth still sweeping its way around the collective, I hope this strikes a chord with the energy or knowings that you two are having. This feels like I'm speaking to a direct set of souls this week, and being in this energy brings up a vision of sparks lighting in the belly and creating a fire that you know has potential and potency. As I say this, the sun is just like shining through on me. We will leave that because it is nice, even if it makes the video look funny. The overall message is for everyone to keep grounded. It's never been so important. There have been so many notes coming up around dream state, around dreaming bigger than ever and seeking inspiration from twilight whispers. So spend some time under the stars this week. Send the stars your big dreams and wishes for the world and for the world around you. The stars also ask you to surrender anything that is a weight to the mind, the body, and the soul, and to give it back to them so that they can transmute it. You can do so by visualizing these aspects being released each time that you breathe out. So breathing in like white, supportive, loving light, breathing in like the twinkle of the starlight, and as you breathe out, giving to them all that really cannot be in the body at this time. I also want to acknowledge that something I did this week that maybe could be an idea for some of you guys, as I know that what is going on in Gaza is indescribable, to say the least. But I took a cacao out and sat under the tree, and it was about 9 o'clock, so it was dark. I just thought, if I am unable to help in any other way, maybe I could place myself with an awareness of what it is like for them late at night when they can't see anything except for bombs, and yeah, and I prayed. I think there's a lot of people praying, actually, which is really beautiful. A few weeks ago I was talking about prayer quite a bit, and I'm noticing more and more and more people shifting towards the energy of prayer, not just for what's happening in the collective, but a lot more people using prayer in their own life, and it's really beautiful. The energy of reunion comes in this week to support you in hearing the calls to come back home to yourself, your own inner knowing, and the truth for life, the truth for the life that you have chosen to live. We will also be seeing more people coming out of their caves, out of their own self-imposed shells, setting up new environments, new resources, and connections. This is going to be an energy that will take some time getting used to. Many of us have spent a lot of time over the last few years being very internal and reflective, welcoming in these new connections or aspects of self that you know are going to be seen and well received. It can be overwhelming, and at times even I can feel being tapping on or burnt out, tapping on my door, because this energy tends to make you want to, or makes you feel like you need to make big moves or understand and process everything as soon as it's happening. But Spirit comes in again this week. Thank you very much. Spirit comes in this week. Yeah, just with that reminder again that yeah, we all collectively, we need to slow down, and before we, I guess, like jump and grab, there will be things, don't get me wrong, there'll be things where you'll be like, fuck yes, this is for me, grab it, and you'll be ready to go. But just for the people that maybe are still easing into this energy a little bit, just know that it's safe to take some time to respond or react or decide or choose or whatever it is. You want to make sure that what you're doing feels really fucking aligned. Now, everything else just isn't worth it, you know? Yeah. So, there was a quote that I found in one of the books, I believe, and it is, "A dream not followed by consistent action, however humble or small the actions may be, points to either a huge contradiction or a gigantic misunderstanding. When you are clear and realize just how powerful you already are, nothing can stop you from taking baby steps each and every day." And again, it's that reminder of the importance of just making some action, or just like starting to, sorry, I had a bogey in my nose, to action the action. But again, it comes back into that message of rush, is that there's no need to rush, that you can actually start implementing these things with little tiny baby steps each and every day, like reading a chapter of your book, like taking 30 minutes out of your day to be far more intentional and send some prayers, to start a new hobby. I've got a new hobby to show you guys at the end of this as well. And when I say new hobby, it really is new, so don't expect me to be good. It sounds shocking. It just sounds like... I'll show you after. Alright, I need to take another sip. Lordy. This is I've got a lot of stuff written down. I'm hoping that you guys will still be able to receive these messages and the love within what I'm writing, even if my energy is a little bit flatter today. I was really proud about this message. I've noticed lots of people that I follow and have followed for quite some time, that they were picking up on similar energy. So I was really proud about this. It just happens. Life happens, and I still wanted to come on and share. But yeah, that's just my reality. That grief is about to hit hard in our home, I think. With all of this, it feels like a loving kick up the arse from Metatron, Archangel Metatron, basically stating that the baby steps are equally as important as the big leaps that life presents us with from time to time. I can feel that there are people who have been hearing their own unique calls inwards and are still avoiding it for whatever reason that may be. I believe this week I'm here to bring some of these messages down, to lovingly also give you a little boot up the bum, and to affirm that what comes to you from committing to yourself is more than you could have ever imagined. I keep feeling there's stuff in my mouth. I haven't eaten anything. It's peeking me out. The message this week is to keep sharing your light. Whether it is within your own family or friend groups or within your wider communities. But how do you share your light? By being you. By leading with your heart in a time where so many others are leading with fear. When I talk about the energy of a leader, this doesn't need to be someone who is aiming to lead hundreds or thousands of people. It may be leaning into being the positive role model within your home, within your relationships and partnerships. It will take on its own meaning for you. But what I do believe is that it is your responsibility to embrace all of your light and share that with whoever needs it, in whatever ways that it also fuels your passions for life and leaves you feeling simultaneously fulfilled in doing so. I'm heading into the second week now of the Return to Self trial run, which is my own self-led workshop. What I'm being able to observe and reflect upon in terms of improving the self-led workbook is quite frankly incredible. This space has a completely different feel to it than others that I have previously done. And in this moment, I can also just recognize my own growth as a space holder and as a compassionate and understanding human being. I feel much more connected to this work and especially working with others. Less pressure to provide the answers or to try to fix people, but to simply support them along their own unique journey when it's desired or needed, and prompt conversations to affirm their effort and experience. I'm really looking forward to sharing next week's workbook with them, and at the end of this week we are planning to have our first video call just as a catch-up. Yeah, I've been able to take heaps of notes from them. I've already added in like an extra 2 pages so far to the first one, so the book is looking like it's going to be more upwards of about 70-80 pages, which is a huge it is a huge achievement. But now as I'm moving through it and I'm adding more in, it's feeling far more complete. It feels like it has all my own little love notes in there and ways that I can be of support. And like I said, there's 4 different people doing it, so I'm getting really beautiful, unique perspectives and different life journeys happening. I'm very emotional. It's really hard to not be grateful for almost everything at this point in life. So anywho, yeah, I'm really grateful, and I'm enjoying the experience. Because I'm also really hopeful that it's going to help a lot of people as well, and that's like where my heart is. Oh God, okay, sorry team. Okay, collect myself. Oh. I've even put the light on purple. Which for me like represents the higher self. It's really interesting when you're a channel, because like I said, my stepdad's mum is the first person that has passed away in quite a long time that I'd known, and you know, a few days ago, the image that sort of her higher self was giving me is that like she had 1 foot in the door, 1 foot out, that she was perfectly balanced between the veil and that she was being received. And then obviously today it's an overwhelming feeling of knowing that she's no longer 1 foot in, 1 foot out, that she's fully in. And I don't know, you always wish you had more time, but she was uncomfortable in the end. So I'm just thankful she's been received. But it just hits you in waves. It just hits you in waves. Hits you in waves. And I get little insights as to like what, like I spoke about last week with the life review and Heavenly Hospital, and she's also simultaneously, her soul is simultaneously also going through the energy of reunion right now, because she's reuniting with those that have gone before her. So the energy of reunion, it's everywhere. Spirit was extremely clear that there will be more doors opening in the coming week where you'll be required to just say yes. Again, if I'm tapping into the energy of the leader and also of reunion, it takes me to the insights of new job openings, new venues becoming available, the right home coming on the market, people asking for your advice or collaboration. Something that you've been asking and wishing for would happen for quite some time, and when it arrives, there may be an element of shock, of uncertainty, of disbelief. But just say thank you and yes, because you do deserve this, and you may not feel as if you are ready or as if you have everything that you need to start this next chapter, but it wouldn't have arrived unless it was for you, and that all that is needed is already within you, or it's well on its way. Sometimes some time is needed for the physical reality to catch up with these new realizations and changes happening energetically. I have just put my name forward for a full-time job, which I wasn't expecting to do, nor was I expecting it to be there. I have no idea how it's going to go. I will keep you in the loop, but I have put my application in. I did a cover letter. My CV is shocking because it's not filled with things that necessarily that I really love. It's just things that I've done from point A to point B to point C to be where I am now. But I wrote a beautiful cover letter in hopes that articulates my passion for the role that is there. But yeah, I wasn't expecting it. It's little things like this, just random phone calls with someone telling you something, or a new job, or sometimes I don't even need to like extra explain these things, I realize, because ultimately it's like when I hear back from you guys, you're like, oh shit, yeah, that happened, or like, yeah, this happened. Like, you get it. You guys are onto it. You're tapped in. And like I said, I feel like this week, even with the title and the thumbnail, I think it's going to pull in a very specific set of people. And I'm not saying, like I said, that with, people who aren't maybe natural leaders aren't going to take stuff from this, because like I said, it could be that leader energy within you for your own home or your own collaborations, but then there also is a tone out here for people who are wanting to work for the collective or work for themselves or whatever it may be, but there's people in here that are watching this that need a bit of a kick up the ass, with love, always with love, but a reminder that you are here to do these bigger things, and you are here to set these spaces up and to preach love unto people, in whatever that way, in whatever your way it may be, poetry, visual arts, drama, making music, dancing, just however it is that you need to shine your light, and share your messages of love and hope and faith to other people. This video is a call for you, in hopes that you take it on board and do it now. Your people are waiting for you. The reason this topic feels so very needed comes from the arrival of the Priestess card. Again, I speak about what is relevant in my own life and what I am learning and experiencing, in the knowing that others are also experiencing these same shifts. So the messages will apply to you also. This card is the teacher, but it's also the student who is dedicated to service, to freedom and leadership. It comes with a follow-up affirmation again that you don't need to have it all together to lead. In fact, it truly helps if you don't. It's hard at times to relate to people who don't believe that they've made any mistakes in their lives, or seek to acknowledge that mistakes and failures are actually a part of life. So let your own beautiful life be your message, and never underestimate the power of sharing your own story. It's by hearing someone else's journey that we feel less alone, and we realize that we're actually in this experience called life together. You will know if you're a leader by your own courage to go first, to step out and shine a light on new paths for others to eventually venture forward onto themselves. And I've said this to a few people actually in the last week. A reminder that sometimes, especially if you're a leader, you can get a bit frustrated that you're like, why doesn't this job or role exist? Or like, why isn't this path already here for me to just travel down? When the reality is, universe is seeking for you to create that path, for you to create that revenue, for you to create that job or that role or that experience, not only for yourself, but knowing that you're the person that's supposed to bring it forward so that other people who have been looking for that path can find it, so that they can travel along it and get to a point where they go, okay, like, now I understand more about like who I am and what I enjoy, and they can create their own path from that. But we're all connected, and every action that we take impacts people, impacts other people's ability to step up and show up in their own life as well. And that's why I say it's like our responsibility to be ourselves and to shine our light and to share our love in however ways and however we can. Yeah, I'll keep moving on. Many of you right now may be stuck on the feeling that your tribe or your community isn't here, or that you don't know how to find them or them find you. You may be placing too much energy into trying to work out who they are, and maybe getting stuck in seeing them in a certain age or income or hobby or occupation bracket. Right now, Spirit asks you to no longer rely on the permission of others, to have the courage to stand up and embrace your experiences, your highs and your lows, and trust that you do not need to know the way. You just need to believe that there are many paths that can be taken to get to where your heart feels most fulfilled. Your community, your tribe, and your people are waiting for you to simply step forward exactly as you are so that they can find you. So how are you being called to step up and lead? And how can you be the leader that you maybe wished you had in your own life growing up? So we double back down on the action of aligning your life and ask ourselves, what in our lives is no longer in alignment with who we truly are? When we resist who we truly are, we resist life and we feel stuck. So many of us have learned to be who the world wants us to be, but now more than ever, it is becoming harder to hold on to that facade, that mask. And a hell of a lot easier to just embrace who you are in this given moment. It's time to let go of who you once were, all the things that you once defined yourself by, and now courageously step into the person that you came here to be in all authenticity, to embrace your uniqueness, because it's time to bring these elements into alignment and release yourself from the situations that you have outgrown. The next message that I really love and speak into is the understanding that when the vow is spoken, vow, V-O-W, karmic ties are formed, destinies are forged, and spirit spins the world around you in order to take your vow seriously. With ancestors watching, the laws of nature responds. And by reciting your vow, no matter how casually it is said, it activates the eternal and the unseen forces of the world to rally by your side. The promises, the commitments, and the vows that we are living by, either consciously or unconsciously, need attention right now. To either recommit or to recreate a new ritual, thought, pattern, habit that signifies full closure. You've been underestimating the power of your spoken word and these promises, to which they cannot be unanswered or forgotten. Breaking these vows can leave lingering complexities and loose ends. So think of the last promise that you made. Was it to yourself? Was it to another? Was it upheld? Was it broken? And always in these moments, it's about like not putting shame on yourself, or like not judging yourself when you're asking yourself these questions. I make and break promises to myself all the time, and it's something that I am learning to not do, because I want to honor the things that I'm really passionate about, or the things that I say, not only for myself but the connections around me. Pardon me. And again, I am going to bring it back to the energy of reunion and stuff again, but it all does link in to being a leader and to the energy of reunion, because it's reunion with your soul tribe, it's reunion with your community, it's reunion with these aspects of yourself that have been so dire to come out and be expressed and experienced. So when I say reunion as well, some of you guys might, like coming to mind, you guys might instantly go, okay, well, like parties or like Christmas do's or like greater reunions like that, or like whānau coming together for Christmas. Those sorts of reunions, equally as much, yes. But it also feels very much internal as well. Just reunion with the self now that seeks to be experienced in this next chapter. The self that seeks to lead, to guide, to teach, to grow. Okay, so bringing it back to reunion, prayer and meditation are coming up a lot again. And this week, and for us to really take a step back and reflect upon what prayer even looks and feels like to us in an authentic way. Prayer helps us to break through illusion, to reunite with our own inner knowing and power. Prayer leads beyond the ego and away from the little stories into an awareness of the larger play at hand. Prayer can be whatever it needs to be for you. Maybe it's within the times that our own lives aren't the center of prayer. Maybe it's within the times that our own lives are not the center of our thoughts, or when we're able to sit into gratitude. Perhaps it's in times of surrender or being of service. Whatever form of expression or that prayer looks like for you, this week, Spirit simply reminds us of the importance of it in our lives right now. Though it may be uncomfortable, it is time and nothing else will do. Basically, in my fumbling little moment there, what I'm speaking about is the need, hold on, let me go back into that. It's basically talking about the power of prayer, obviously, but it's talking about that prayer doesn't have to be like kneeling on the ground and like even to a specific person. The way that prayer is going to manifest itself for you or express itself to you is perfectly fine. Like the whole point that Spirit is like however you pray, however you send love, it's needed now. So don't think that it's not enough, or that because you're not doing it in a specific way, or let's say your mind wanders while you're trying to do it, it's okay. What is important is that you give it a go and that you give it a try in this time of your life. Yeah, well done. Okay, this message came up a little earlier on in the post, but to really amplify some other perspectives and messages, we need to take a moment to acknowledge that mirrors are portals to other realms. Some of them shatter, flatter, distort, reflect or project back to us whatever it is that we believe to be true. This coming week is about self-perception. While we talk about the energy of a leader, it is also important to recognize the power and potential of this energy and how it can drive a wedge between you and your true self if your leadership leans too far forward into the territory of ego. There is still trickster energy about. So again, I plead that you put your phone down, you stop with the comparisons, and you let the mirror stand empty for a while you rest with the truth that's inside you. And if you do choose to embark in some mirror work, please speak kindly to yourself. It will feel awkward at first, but it is a surefire way to become closer friends with the you inside you. The final message that came up was around the mandrake plant, the one that screams in Harry Potter when it's removed from the dirt. Shaped very much like a human body, this plant is also believed to support control over the body, including heightening love, and many sources made note that it's also been used for a very, very long time in supporting conception. What got me when I was looking at if I think about the plant a little bit more, is it's interesting. It's the aspect of like us now having to pull these like potential seeds like out of the dirt, maybe like I want to say like prematurely, because we're realizing now that some of those seeds that we were planting are not in alignment with where we need to be now, and it's like it comes out and it's like and you're like, shh, sorry, just not right now, and you put it down and you walk away from it. You could be for someone else. But it just feels like this energy of but in terms of things like the heightening love, I think if you are able to visualize your own like little mandrake plant maybe, and that maybe even you pick up the mandrake plant, you pull it out and it's screaming, and you apply this visualization to it where you put it back into this new pot, this a new planter pot that is filled with the right nutrients and the right people around it that'll help it grow when it needs to. And you can imagine putting the dirt over it and covering it in and sending love to it. There's an aspect of that where it's like and I know in lots of movies and stuff, I think they put the mandrake plant under the bed to help with conception, and I don't know, maybe that's a really specific message for someone. Maybe someone on here is, I don't know, maybe someone on here is like, I love mandrake plants. And it's for you. It's what came up in one of the cards, so I'm just sharing it. So, again, I've been trying to write my own prayers each week to just support the energy that has been coming up. 37 minutes, team. Woohoo! So the prayer for this week is, and like I always say, I'll put it in the description below. You can take it and adapt it however you need to. Yeah, after this we are heading into the gym to just try and move some of this energy, and then very, very luckily today, even though it is a very, very heavy day, we're also going to see 2 friends this afternoon for dinner and as a catch up. So it is what it is. Once I jump off this, I'm probably going to go and have a big old cry. But I'm thankful that I've even made it this far. I've had a few little snapper tears, but we're okay. All right. Guide us towards being positive role models for those around us, so that when they experience my love and the love within themselves, they will want more and more and more. May we be graced with patience to work together, to bring humanity together as a large collective family, and may we find more understanding and compassion in our hearts. I will play you a bit of my flute now. Don't get excited, okay? I am literally learning. I'm gonna have to watch YouTube videos. I can only do very, very certain ones. And I don't know how people like, you know, like I don't know how they make it sound. I can't get the littler ones. actually done it so far. I was putting on a show for you guys. Anyway, I'm so glad that you've spent this time with me. We're about to hit 40 minutes, team. As always, thank you for investing your time into this self-development journey, into learning a bit more about my life, being present in it. I look forward to sharing more with you all. Yeah. If you'd like to find other ways to connect, everything that you possibly need is down in the description box. I will be back next week, as I am every week. And let's just see what happens wherever you are. I'm so thankful that you are alive. I'm so thankful that you are well, that you are healthy, that you are loved. I'm thankful for your existence. A wave is coming again. So, I'll see you next week. Thank you for being here. Love you.